Hello and welcome to Cee The Counsellor, where I talk all things counselling and therapy and psychology. In this video, I'll be sharing all the different routes that you can take to become a counsellor or psychotherapist in the UK. There's so many different routes, but I've tried to structure this video in a very simplistic way so that you can understand where to begin no matter what stage you are in life and no matter what career you're in at the moment. Because me of all people knows how confusing it is to figure this out, which is why I made this channel in the first place. So I'll be sharing the diploma route, the university route and the mixed route, and also a little bit about my journey to becoming a counsellor in the UK. So you can watch all of it or you can skip to the part that's most relevant for you. It's up to you. So I hope this video helps, and if you'd like to book a one-to-one consultation with me to discuss, the link will be in the description box below, or if you want to talk to me via email, that will also be in the description box. Now let's get straight into it. So first, we're going to talk about the diploma route. This route is most suitable for people who are switching from a different career or those who are doing their GCSEs or A-levels at the moment. So this route involves getting started at the foundation level. You can do a foundation course, which is very short. It's only a few weeks long. It basically introduces you to the basic concepts of counselling and what's involved in becoming a counsellor. So that way you can decide whether you really want to pursue this and whether it's something that's really interesting to you or not before you make a decision to carry on with your journey. So this level is not mandatory, but it's just an option for you if you're still unsure about whether this is exactly what you want, or if you're not sure what to expect from being a counsellor, then this would be a good option for you to choose. So like I said, if you don't want to do the foundation route and you are definitely 100% sure that this is what you want to do, then you can just start at level 2 instead. So this is known as the level 2 counselling skills diploma. Most places won't expect you to have a foundation level. Most places are okay to accept you to start at level 2 without any prior qualifications, so you do not have to have any other qualifications in order to do a level 2. Some places might be a bit picky and a bit extra and say yes, you need it, but most places won't, and it's totally fine to start from a level 2 without any prior experience in counselling or therapy at all. So if you're interested in knowing more about the level 2, I do have a video on that explaining what you can expect from that course, the details about how long it is and how much it's going to cost you and things like that, which I'll have linked in the description box as well. So some places will allow you to start your level 2 training at the age of 16, 18 or 19. It just depends on the institution, and most places will offer this course in a college setting. Level 2 can be done online or face-to-face, but I will always recommend doing face-to-face just because of the nature of the course, which I explain a lot more in some of my other videos. So this level 2 course, just in short, it's less than a year and it will allow you to progress onto level 3. So you can't do a level 3 without having done a level 2, with the exception of my story, which I will explain later on in the video. So level 2 is mandatory if you want to go on to level 3, and at this stage you are not yet a qualified counsellor. You still have to do level 3 and level 4 first. So once you've done your level 2, you can move on to your level 3. The level 3 counselling skills diploma is 1 academic year long, and at this stage you'll be expected to do a few assessments. There are no exams, you only do assessments and coursework. So you'll be doing a bit more practical things like dyads and triads and role play. And once you finish this, you can then progress onto level 4. Now level 2 is a lot more intense. It's a 2-year course and you'll be doing placement, and you'll be expected to acquire 100 supervised client hours. So you'll be going and doing real work with real clients. Yes. So at this level, you are definitely qualified to work as a counsellor, but I must say your employment options will be kind of limited because a lot of places that employ therapists and counsellors usually prefer a lot higher qualifications like degree level or master's level, and they usually expect you to have more than 100 supervised client hours. But it's still very possible to get work. So if you'd like to stop there, you can. So that will take you about 4 to 5 years if you don't take gaps or breaks in between. However, if you really want to up your experience a bit more and increase your employability, you can do a level 5 counselling skills diploma, which is 1 year long. So the level 5 specifically prepares you for private practice. So if you want to do private practice, I would highly recommend don't just stop at level 4, go to the level 5, and then you can start your private practice with a bit more knowledge about the business side of becoming a private practice therapist. So in the level 5, you'll also be expected to acquire another 60 supervised client hours before you can work as a private practice therapist. So level 5 is optional, and there is also level 6, which is also optional. Level 6 is not something that you have to do as soon as you're done your level 5. This one is for people who would like to become supervisors and you want to gain knowledge in how to supervise other counselors and therapists in their work, because every single counselor and therapist must have a supervisor when they're working with clients. So this is something that I probably wouldn't recommend you do straight away, simply because you would need to gain experience in your own work with clients for a certain number of years before you can become a supervisor. So that's the entirety of the diploma route. If you choose to do level 5, of course that's going to be an extra year on top of the 4 or 5 years that you will do from foundation to level 4. So this route, like I said, will be good for those who are either at GCSE level and want to start their training immediately, or A level and you just finished, you don't have to go to uni, you can start your diplomas and be qualified within a few years. Or if you're switching from a different career and you have no knowledge, no experience in counselling, you can start at foundation level or at level 2, and you are not expected or required to have any prior experience or qualifications at all. So I have a few videos on the level 2, level 3 and level 4 diploma, which I will link in the description box for you to watch, or you can watch the For Future Counsellors playlist, which I'll also link in the description box. Now let's move on to the second route, which is the university route. Now this route can be split into 2 ways, and I'm going to explain a bit further. So this route is great for those who have just finished their A-levels and want to go to uni, or for those who would like to pursue a master's or a PhD in counselling in the future. Then this route is for you. So the first university option is doing a counselling undergraduate degree. Now this is a typical UK degree which will last 3 years. And I think some universities offer the option of a 4th year, I think with extra placement hours, because some of them I think don't include placement in the 3 years. But most of the universities that I've seen do offer placement within the 3-year degree, so you don't have to do 4 years. And of course, I do have a video on what to expect on a counselling degree, which will be linked in the description box and is in for the Future Counsellors playlist as well. So with the degree, you'll be expected to do your placement, 100 supervised client hours, and once you complete this degree, you'll be qualified to work as long as your course is accredited. And if your course is not accredited, do not worry, you can still get your accreditation, and I have a video explaining this as well, which will be linked in the description box. So we're still on the university route. Like I said, it's split 2 ways. So this is the second option in regards to the university route. If you are someone who's already got an undergraduate degree, especially in a social science, or in any degree really, but a social science would obviously look a lot better. For example, a psychology degree. If you have a psychology undergraduate degree, but you have now decided that you want to become a counsellor, you can do a counselling master's degree instead of doing a counselling undergraduate degree, because of course you already have an undergraduate degree, so why get 2 undergraduate degrees when you can just do a master's, right? So if you already have an undergraduate degree, you can then do a master's degree in counselling instead. Unfortunately, this master's degree is one of a kind and also lasts 3 years. I mean, of course it's not one of a kind, because there are a lot of master's degree which take a few years as well, but I didn't know it was possible. However, you will need to get a counselling skills diploma beforehand, because in order to be accepted for the master's degree, a lot of the time they will expect you to have a level 2 or level 3 counselling skills diploma in order to be accepted onto the master's course. So that is something to keep in mind. So you will have to do the diploma first, and then you can apply for your master's. So if you choose to go down this route and do your master's, you'll be expected to complete 200 supervised client hours in your placement. However, you are allowed to push up to 300 hours. That is optional, but you are expected to qualify with 200 placement hours. And by the time you're finished, you will be a qualified counsellor and you'll be ready to work. You can go straight into private practice if you wish. Something else to note, however, with the master's degree is that if you feel like it's not for you, or you're no longer enjoying it, or you start and then you have to stop, you can actually finish in 2nd year instead of 3rd year. So if you choose to leave in the 2nd year of your master's degree, then you'll qualify with what's known as a postgraduate diploma instead of the master's. You will have 100 supervised client hours under your belt, so you can go straight into work and you can go straight into employment. And the reason I know this is because on my master's course, a few people left in the 2nd year, and some of them have started their private practice already. Some of them are already employed because they've decided to drop out in the 2nd year, but they still have 100 supervised client hours under their belt. So of course, if you do your master's degree, it's always optional to do a PhD. So if you want to push yourself further, you can do a PhD after your master's. And in your PhD, you would be expected to acquire 450 supervised client hours. And 450 supervised client hours is the highest level of qualification that you can get. This means that you are at an accredited status. You're not just registered status. And if you're not sure what the difference is between being accredited and registered, I have a video on that as well, which will be linked in the description box. And I forgot to mention the PhD PhD is also 3 years, so it's a lot of time and a lot of money. So that's it for the university route. If we choose to do the degree or the master's or the PhD, each of them are 3 years, with the exception of the master's where you can leave after the second year and still leave with a postgraduate diploma. So that's the university route. So now let's talk the mixed route, which is the final option. So this route includes doing a bit of the diplomas and the degrees. So if you're someone who already has an undergraduate degree, for example, I kind of already mentioned this in the previous point, but you would have to do a level 2 or level 3 counselling skills diploma in order to get onto your master's degree. However, some places might be a bit difficult and might not let you onto a level 3 immediately, especially if you don't have a background in social sciences. So it just depends. I was quite lucky enough that my tutor at the time, I had just finished my undergraduate degree in psychology, so she said, you know what, you don't have to do a level 2, you can just jump straight onto the level 3, and that's what I did. So if you are lucky enough to be accepted straight onto a level 3 without prior experience, then you can just do that. However, there's also a possibility that you might have to do a level 2 and a level 3 before you can be accepted onto your master's course. So as long as your undergraduate degree is at least a 2-1 in most cases. However, if you have an undergraduate degree with a 2-2 classification, if you have other work experience, maybe in a helping role or some sort of a counselling role, then you could still be accepted onto your master's without having a 2-1 in your undergraduate degree. So if you are still here and you're still watching, thank you very much. I'm just going to share a little bit of my story and my journey, because this is something I get asked a lot, like how did I end up here and how did I get here? So my journey, I'm just going to keep it very short because I have a few videos on this as well. My journey was, I did my psychology undergraduate degree, and to be honest, I didn't really know whether I wanted to be a counsellor, because who really knows that they want to be a counsellor when they're really young, you know? It's not something that most kids dream of. So while I was in my undergraduate degree doing psychology, I then decided to eventually choose the counselling route. My other desire was to go down the sports and exercise route, but I decided to go for counselling because it was where my heart was. And we had a module in the final year, a counselling module, which I really enjoyed, and I felt like this was the route for me. So as soon as I finished, I started researching how to become a counsellor, and of course the information out there was just vague and wasn't very clear. So I eventually saw the masters, and all the masters were saying I had to get this diploma, and I was like, what is this diploma? So I eventually then found a diploma, and I ended up doing the level 3 just before the pandemic, and then I finished that, and that was 1 year, and then I started my master's 2 years. I started my master's 2 years later. So that's my short journey, and I do have a full video on it somewhere on my channel. So depending on whatever level you're at in life, whether you're working already, whether you're in your chosen career already or not, whether you want to switch careers, there is a way for you to get into counselling, and it's very easy, it's very simple. All I will say is that it's going to be costly and it's going to take a lot of time, but if this is really truly what you want, then of course go for it. And my channel has all the information you need. Like I said, if you are interested in doing a degree, I have a video for that. If you want to know more about the cost, I have videos on that. If you'd like to know more about the diplomas, I have videos on that. And if you want to know more about the degree and the masters, I have lots of videos on that as well. So I hope all of those videos help. If you'd like to book a one-to-one consultation with me to talk about your options and to speak about your journey and to figure out where to go next, feel free to book me. All the things you need, all the information you need will either be in the description box or in the For Future Counselors playlist. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.